This is the JMGO N1S 4K Smart Portable Projector, and my first impression is how quickly it shifts from box on a table to a legit theater experience. I set it down, aimed it, and had a focused, squared 4K picture in seconds. From my experience, that instant setup ends up being the headline. I expected the lasers and the 4K sharpness to carry the show. But the way this thing physically moves and locks its angle is what actually changed how often I use it. The body is compact and dense, about 7.3 by 6.5 by 7.5 inches and 4.4 pounds. It has a soft matte finish that resists fingerprints and a sturdy gimbal base that lets the head tilt up roughly 127 degrees and spin around the base without the cables twisting. The hinge feels tight, not floppy, and holds its place even when I point it up for a ceiling movie. The design is clean, kind of understated, and blends into a living room or bedroom easily. Parts live on the base, not the rotating head, which is a smart layout. You get HDMI 2.1 with eARC, a USB-A port, a 3.5mm jack, and power. I do wish there were a second HDMI because I swap between a console and a streaming stick occasionally, even though Google TV makes the stick mostly unnecessary. The included EPP case looks simple, but it's surprisingly practical for storage and travel. One note, the external power brick runs hot after a feature-length movie, so I keep it on a hard surface with airflow. The remote is light and straightforward, but it isn't backlit, which is annoying in a dark room. I've had to use the glow from the screen to find the right button more than once. Key features that matter to me are the triple laser Malk 2.0 light engine, 4K via DLP XPR, HDR10, the integrated gimbal with fast autofocus plus auto keystone, and Google TV with an officially licensed Netflix app. On color, the pure RGB laser setup looks bold and saturated without the rainbow effect you see on color wheel projectors. It claims 110% BT 2020, and in my opinion, that wide gamut shows up in animated films, nature footage, and bright game art. Skies and greenery pop, and skin tones can look very natural once you leave the torchy picture modes. I also noticed the familiar triple laser quirk. On certain solid colors, especially bright whites or blues, there can be some laser speckle, like a fine shimmer. On my matte white wall and a 1.0 gain white screen, it was mild and easy to forget during motion. On a gray ALR screen I tried, it became more noticeable. If you're sensitive to texture, stick to a matte surface. Brightness is rated at 1100 ISO lumens, and I'd call it a darkroom projector. With sunlight leaking in, darker scenes can look washed out. After some tweaking, I settled into modes that keep color and skin tones in check, and by eye, they feel closer to 700 to 900 lumens. The ultra-bright style presets push the image, but add a green cast I don't love. Curtains help more than any setting. At night, it looks fantastic. I've watched at 100 to 120 inches without feeling like I was pushing it too far. The image is sharp enough for text and UI elements, and HDR10 highlights come through nicely for the class. Setup is as easy as it gets. The autofocus locks in fast the second you nudge the gimbal, and the auto keystone gets you 90% there. I still tap the manual controls now and then for a perfect rectangle, but the system is quick and reliable. One thing to know, for gaming, the lowest latency lives in game mode, and that disables keystone correction. When I place it dead on center, I get low lag responsiveness around the claimed 17 milliseconds and a crisp 4K 60 signal. On my PC, I also saw a 1080p 240Hz option, and it felt super smooth. If you're off to the side and relying on keystone, input lag jumps a lot, and fast shooters feel delayed. For casual titles, it's fine. For competitive play, I move it to center and keep geometry clean. Google TV on this unit is the real deal. I signed in, grabbed my apps, and Netflix worked natively in 4K without tricks. The interface is snappy, recommendations are decent, and Google Cast made sharing photos and YouTube clips effortless. Voice search through the remote is reliable. For audio, the dual 10-watt speakers are clear with enough body for bedrooms and small living rooms. Dialogue is crisp, and they don't buzz at moderate volume. For big movie nights, I use EARC to pass audio to a soundbar, and that's been stable. Bluetooth audio is fine for music, but I had a tiny bit of lip sync drift with movies until I nudged the audio delay setting. The fan is whisper quiet. It disappears under normal listening. I also tested Blu-ray 3D with active glasses, and it worked better than expected. Bright enough in a dark room with good depth and minimal crosstalk. One practical limitation is the fixed lens. There's no optical zoom. So screen size is controlled by how far you place it from the surface. The throw is about 1.2 to 1, so roughly 8.5 feet to fill a 100-inch screen. That's not a problem on a movable cart or coffee table. But if your furniture is locked in place, plan your distance. Digital zoom exists, but I avoid it since it throws away detail. From my experience, the gimbal is what keeps me using this more than any projector I've owned. I can tilt it up for ceiling mode in bed and be watching within seconds. Then spin it toward a wall for a quick sports stream without restacking books or wrestling a tripod. It's perfect for apartments, bedrooms, dorms, and anyone who wants a big screen without making holes in the ceiling. The color from the triple laser engine is another highlight. In my opinion, animated films, concert footage, and bright streaming shows look richer than typical LED models in this size. The 4K sharpness holds up even at big sizes, so menus and subtitles are clean. I also like how quiet it runs, how fast it focuses, and that Google TV with Netflix just works. For travel, the included case and the 4.4-pound weight make it easy to bring to a friend's place or out to the backyard. I've powered it off a portable battery station for a patio movie and it ran smoothly. There are things I wish were different. A second HDMI and a backlit remote would be great. The power brick getting toasty isn't my favorite. The brightness is honest for the size, but this isn't meant for daylight viewing. And if you're serious about fast games, you'll want it centered and keystone off to keep latency low. For screens, I'd recommend a matte white surface to reduce laser speckle and get the most natural look. In conclusion, I'd recommend this for people who want a flexible, premium-feeling projector that's easy to set up anywhere in the house and shines in a dark room. Key features like the integrated gimbal, triple laser color, 4K HDR10, official Netflix on Google TV, and low-latency game mode make it feel modern and thoughtfully built. It's perfect for bedroom cinema nights, impromptu living room watch parties, and portable movie setups with minimal cables. If you need top-tier brightness for daytime viewing, or you must mount off-center and still play competitive shooters, it may not be the best fit. For everything else, it hits a sweet spot of portability, picture quality, and convenience that makes me actually use it, not just admire it. You can find detailed information about the JMGO N1S 4K Smart Portable Projector in the comments section. See you in the next video.